Guys, we are in mid-May, and I would be remiss if I did not talk about what the month of May really means. And this is kind of a new thing for me. I never really embraced AAPI heritage so much until now, and I'm still coming to grasp with that. And also mental health awareness. That one I actually have been embracing a lot more. But with my kids and the passing of the torch and, talking about what goes on, I think it's appropriate to talk about both and the relevance of both here, especially as it pertains to fathering. So, as an Asian American dad who commonly experiences the struggles of regular parenting, let alone Asian American parenting, here are a couple things. Number one, there is a little bit of a clash between cultural identity and mental health. In many Asian cultures, there is a stigma about the expression of your emotions out in the open. It's hard to be authentic and genuine because, we're expected to be stoic. We're expected to save face for others and not air out grievances. And that can be really tough, and it's important to work at it. And if you really can't, make sure you do have an outlet, but try to modernize some of those conversations. Number two, intergenerational dynamics. It's kind of related here, but we need to find a balance between some traditional parenting values, strict discipline. I won't name names, but there's some medieval stuff that I know about from that I've heard. You can't let people run into your kids run into your fist as a punishment. You can't let your kids kneel on an abacus. And I'm not even sure I'm into spanking here, but we do need to find some way to reinforce good behavior and establishing good emotional connection with our kids. And that's kind of a big thing in parenting, if you haven't noticed. Number three, stigma and seeking help. All right. This is less so parenting, but when I was in college, I barely made it through. And that one of the big things was I actually just didn't really want to ask for help. I felt stupid in doing so. And I think that came from, in high school, I was surrounded by a lot of ultra competitive Asian Americans, Indian Americans who are really smart. And I just felt like I had to run with the pack. And, that kind of bred this lack of openness to seek guidance until later on when I was really struggling. And that can apply to now as well, especially when you're parenting. You may be reluctant to look for professional help. Nowadays, that's less so a problem more than ever because you got guys like Ed Milet championing BetterHelp. BetterHelp's been around for a while, and that's great. And, your insurance covers therapy more readily than before. The great ones, they're still cash pay, but, seek help if you need it. Don't be afraid of it. And, there is that element of discretion. They're healthcare providers. They are adhering to HIPAA. So make sure that you get the help you need. Number four, cultural practices and self-care. Now, I like talking about this one because it's all about the positives. You can meditate. You can go on guided walks. You can go on guided meditation. You can do deep breathing, practice Qigong, go to the gym, do martial arts. You can also just get out and enjoy nature. You can do all of the above. These things are so great for your mental well-being and, ultimately your physical well-being. And number five, navigating those parental expectations. Now, I'm not at that point with my kids, but if you grew up with that pressure to excel enormously academically and maybe to this point for some of you professionally, how tough was that? And would there have been a better balance? I know a lot of you maybe did get that pressure and you're not regretting it now, but maybe there was a way to create a connection so it did not feel as forced, but it was self-guided. And there was a lot less turmoil and more just intrinsic drive here. You need to find happiness and personal growth in your career and instill that kind of thing in your kids too. I ain't blaming our prior generation. Our parents, they came here with a lot less than what we have now. And they made it work because they hustled and grinded and really just had a clear vision of, we're going to make this work where we didn't have the chance to, where we used to live. Nowadays, it's a little different. It's about navigating the distraction. It's about steering ourselves on the right path and really keeping ourselves from blowing up internally here. So those 5 points here: cultural identity and mental health, intergenerational dynamics, stigma and seeking help, cultural practices and self-care, navigating parental expectations. Work on those things. If you feel connected in this, let me know. If this has affected you, tell me how. If you want to hear more, write them down below.